Welcome to Air Transport Month. Today we'll be speaking to Changi Airport Group Managing Director for Air Hub Development, Mr. Lim Ching Kiat. Hi, Ching Kiat, welcome to Air Transport Month. Thank you for joining us today. We are here in a very empty Terminal 3. As we know, passenger numbers did plunge in excess of 90% at the height of the pandemic. So how vulnerable is Changi Airport during this pandemic? And given your position as a lifestyle destination for Singaporeans, has it helped in your revenue so far?
Thank you. Happy to take this interview. Like most airports and airlines, Singapore Airport, Changi Airport is also adversely affected by the pandemic. Right? It's especially significant for us because we don't have a domestic market to turn on. So when international travel goes down, that's all our traffic has gone down. So for the first 9 months of 2020, our traffic is plunged about 77% compared to the previous year. So like many airports, we are also trying to explore other areas to do well. So fortunately for us, last year we opened Jewel at Changi Airport. So I think this is a lifestyle and shopping destination and attractions. So this has helped us a bit. So although during the circuit breaker period, the traffic has come down, now our footfall for Jewel and our landside traffic has all rebounded back, and I'm happy to say that 90% of our landside shops at Changi Airport have also reopened. So for Jewel, in the last few months, we have seen increased footfall, especially at the restaurants and also especially on the weekends. Our attractions as well are also tracking well. Of course, we have taken the necessary precautions to open in a safe manner. So we do track the temperature control of the passengers, customers coming in, and to use safe entry apps to track the contact tracing. So and more regular cleaning and disinfecting our premises. So all this has come up. It has helped the revenue, but of course our mainstay is still running an airport. So as long as the airport traffic is down, it will still be a challenging situation for us.
Well, how prepared is Changi should there be a vaccine found? How many vaccines can Changi handle, especially if they require a cold storage?
Actually, in the years even before COVID, we have placed actually a lot of emphasis on perishable cargo, especially pharmaceuticals. Right? So we have started a few initiatives. First, we formed a Pharma at Changi initiative to get together all the stakeholders at Changi involved in the air cargo supply chain for pharmaceuticals. So today we are the largest community in Asia for the IATA CEIV, Center of Excellence for Independent Validators certification. We have a total of 12 companies in Singapore and Changi who are qualified. We are still getting more on board. Then this forum is also a regular forum where we engage the pharmaceutical shippers on how we can do better in carrying their cargo. A pharmaceutical cargo, we know that the temperature control is very important. The customers also want visibility at all times that the temperature, no excursions happening. So in terms of hardware, SATS and Donata, our two ground handlers, they have temperature control facilities. Donata themselves have recently also brought in cool dollies, which are temperature control containers, so that even on the tarmac itself, we can ensure that the pharmaceutical cargo is well carried. Changi Airport is also participating in the global community. We are a strategic founding member of Pharma.Aero with other airports like Brussels and Miami. So recently, at Pharma.Aero, working together with TIACA, which is the International Air Cargo Association, we have conducted this survey, this project called Project Sunrays, which is how do we prepare the whole global air cargo community to be ready for the vaccine carriage. So closer at home, we are replicating some of these efforts that we are doing internationally to get the local community ready. The ongoing discussions are there. We are having quite a regular, we are starting to form a work group to study this and to identify along the whole supply chain where are the areas that we can do better, because I think this is something unprecedented in the whole world. I think even the regulations are still being formed as we speak. So we want to make sure that we have a public-private partnership to get all the stakeholders together and study this issue. So this effort is ongoing.
Okay. As we all know that Singapore has established green lanes with countries like New Zealand, Australia, China, to name a few. How has Changi prepared your facilities and staff to handle these air travel pass travellers?
For the air travel pass travellers, when they arrive in Singapore, they are supposed to take a PCR test upon arrival. So we have facilities in the airport to do the testing. After which, they just need to go back to the hotel, wait for maybe one day for the results to come out. And the result is negative, they are good to go. So for arriving passengers, that is the case. We are also looking at transit passenger, which is an important component for the airport. So again, for passengers coming from ATP countries, for transit, they are free to move around the airport. For other passengers who are not on the ATP program, they are kept in a separate area, in the transit holding area. So they are separate from the ATP passengers as well, just so that there is a separation. So for airport staff who are handling the transit holding area, because they come into direct contact with passengers, we also issue them protective gear and pay attention to make sure that the staff safety is ensured. So, but airport staff in general, we are also focusing very much on the safety. So it's regular temperature control and issuing the right protective gear for their day-to-day activities, and also encouraging them to keep up personal hygiene and cleanliness standards. So I think those are two separate fronts. One is taking care of customers, the other one is also taking care of airport staff to ensure that they are given the right level of protection.
But do they have to go through additional training to handle this passengers?
Correct. So I think additional training and also additional reminders, because some of these things, even how for the staff who have to wear the PPE, the personal protective gear, how do you treat them? How do you dispose of them? Can you reuse them? Things like that is not second order. So I think there's a fair bit of re-education and training that's needed to clarify some of these. And also because the workers come from different organizations within Changi, how do you get the same standards across? So I think those are efforts that we are putting in quite a lot of attention to.
Moving ahead, do you foresee new city connection with Changi post-pandemic? And how do you see Changi and network airports reinvent itself to make it more future-proof from black swan events like COVID-19?
I think immediately we do see some interesting developments for the cargo side, because I think cargo, the current circumstance has led to cargo supply shortfall for some of the lanes. So we have actually seen new cargo models emerging, and also in fact new cargo airlines coming to Changi. So just recently we SF Shunfeng Airlines, they restarted their flights to Singapore, and just a few days ago YTO also started. So this will bring us new flights and new city destinations. So we expect this trend to continue. Then moving more near medium term, as you see the government's efforts to open up green lanes with countries that have stabilized their COVID infection cases. For example, the announced ones are New Zealand, Australia, China, Hong Kong. So these are where travel opening up. So I think those will be among the first for us to get new flights to and new links to. I think further beyond that, I think post-COVID, I think of course the whole aviation industry may take some time to get back to stabilize. But I think historically for Singapore, we have played a key role as a hub airport for transfers, for example, Australia to Europe, Southeast Asia to Europe. I think these are places, these are lanes that we expect to continue to a leadership position over, and maybe in some cases might even strengthen our leadership. But that is post-COVID. It will take some time to see how the situation stabilizes. How will Changi better prepare ourselves for a pandemic? I think today we are already taking all the safety precautions to adapt our model to do that. So even before COVID, we have placed a high emphasis on automation of our services. I think COVID just forced us to, I think, accelerate some of these. For example, now for our self-check-in kiosk, we have proximity sensors so that the passenger doesn't have to touch the screen. For the immigration, again, they have installed new biometric equipment so that they can look at facial scan and iris scan instead of fingerprint scanning. So I think these are measures that we have already been investing in, but COVID just accelerated it. The good thing perhaps is many of our partners are now even more ready to talk to us about automation, about self-service option. Then I think from the commercial side, we are of course exploring new avenues as well, because it may take some time for the traditional model to come back. So our iShop Changi, we have created this platform many years ago, have seen an uptick in the e-commerce side during this period where travelling is down, we are focusing a bit more on the domestic market, on e-commerce. Then another point is that Changi Airport is also as a key player in the tourism and aviation sector. We are also actively participating in some of the government's efforts to restart travel. So under government there's an emerging stronger task force, and one of the sub-task force is looking at restarting tourism travel. So our CEO is a co-chair of the task force. So we have been discussing with STB and also other players like travel agents and airlines in the ecosystem. How do we carefully restart some of these efforts? So like ITB Asia, now called Travel Revive, will be on later this month. This will be an interesting experiment. So there will be a lot of innovation on how to restart a big MICE event in a safe and careful manner. So CAG is participating in many of these innovations to help restart travel. So that's what we're doing.